Why are you asking the black man if his mum and dad are still together? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is doing well. Another day, another Love Island review. Today's episode was okay, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like it definitely picked up towards the end. We have a huge singlet to rip at the end, a big one at that. So a lot for us to discuss. So as I usually and always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. We are on the road to 29k, and by the grace of God, we're going to hit 30 very soon as well. So definitely be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at Ayo DOESN'T. And number 3, get cozy and comfy with a hot Ribena and some snacks. And let's get into today's review. So let's start off with the date. So you guys know yesterday we were introduced to 2 new bombshells, Connor and also Matilda, and they were given the opportunity to pick 3 of the islanders for their starter, main, and also their dessert. So start off with Grace. They were just having general chit chat. He was saying, you know, he's 28, he's from Cornwall. And also all of you people that said, oh yeah, Connor's there for Mimi. Yeah, someone else is coming in for Mimi. Guys, I need to rip your singlets one by one. Okay? My guy is from Cornwall. He ain't there for no Mimi, okay? Anything else from his date with Grace? Sorry, not much. He had Nicole as his main. Not much to discuss there, honestly, guys. I feel like he chose Nicole for vibes, or producers told him to pick her for vibes, because there was definitely no need to pick her. We know Nicole and Kieran are very, very, very close off. Even during the date, she was like to Kieran, he plays rugby. And Kieran's like, yeah, nothing's happening over there. And last but not least, he chose Mimi for dessert. Mimi made chocolate covered strawberries. He rated her best in presentation, and he really said he's excited to be there. I was speaking to everyone on the terrace like, oh, at the end of the day, a date's gonna happen, in it. So like, yeah, these things are just gonna happen. Ayo, you wait there. Ayo, you wait there for me. I'm gonna rip your singlets, okay? I'm gonna rip it. Now moving on to Matilda. Guys, I won't lie, Matilda, she seems like a really nice girl. I actually do like her vibe in the villa. Definitely gives main vibes, bubbly character energy, very confident. Her Asher today was very interesting, okay? The Asher was very interesting. But of course she had Uma for her starter. She was speaking about, you know, really liking dark features and really liking dark hair and everything. And Uma was overly flirting. Like, honestly, he was just like, oh my God, like your eyes, are they grey? Are they blue? Are they, you know, are they purple? You know, overly complimenting their eyes. But Uma was really, really, really going in. And I'm not surprised. If I was with Jess, I would go in too. Okay. Of course, Matilda's main was Sean. Sean made steak, and Sean is just such a sweetheart. He gave her steak, but the ketchup was in a heart shape, which is absolutely so cute. Once again, complimenting her eyes. I said, ah, wow. And because it was dark and, you know, nighttime, I couldn't really see her eyes like that, but I saw it the following morning. Guys, she honestly has stunning eyes, I'll tell you that. But you know, Sean, every time he speaks to a new girl and everything, he always tells them, you know, oh, you remind me of like a cherry cola, you remind me of like a Starburst, whatever. Well, he was like to her, you know, you remind me of, what did he say? A fizz? No. So he was saying, you know, oh, you remind me of a sweet, and she was looking at him like, so that they can do, they can be telepathic with one another with her thoughts. And then she was just like, yeah, say it, like, go on. And then he was just like, fizzy watermelon. And she was just like, oh, you said it. Do I believe that was in her head? No. But she just didn't want to seem awkward. But you know, Sean, he just does a bit too much. He was just like, yeah, like, I can give you a slice of May. I was just thinking, oh, make it stop. Sean is such a sweet guy, but when it comes to Riz and everything, it's just not, it's not given. Okay, that's the honest truth. But I won't lie, Sean is really kind. You guys do know that I do really feel this vibe. But him and Matilda definitely have a good vibe between them, and I actually do, I like the conversation between them. They seem quite cute and bubbly together. And last but not least, Wil was her dessert, and he made a fruit salad. You know, he was talking about the fact that he's with Uma, but he is very much open and interested in getting to know Matilda. And then Joey was telling Uma on the terrace, you know, like, oh, I know that you're really into Uma and Will's really into you. I mean, I know that you're really into Wil and Will's really into you, but Matilda looks like he's really into him. Hold that thought, because we're going to go into it later on. In my opinion, all the dates were okay, nothing to really rave on about, so that was that. Now, of course, we had the dinner aftermath. Everyone was just getting to know Connor and Matilda. Either they are just really, personally, they must be really good vibes, or everyone in the villa was just so excited to have fresh meat, because everyone's just like, oh my God, hi, hey baby love, hey. I was just thinking, no one say you can't be kind, but it was given a bit merch. I feel like it was given a bit much, like overly baby girl, yeah, sure, yeah, no, yeah, oh my god, really, yeah, that was literally the vibe. Not really much to discuss other than the fact that they were actually all extremely expressive, and Matilda did make it very clear to the girls that she doesn't like being called Tilly. And the boys were also letting Connor know and also Matilda know that they are very much open. So yeah, everyone was very welcoming to both of them. Now let's move on to Oma pulling Matilda for a chat. Guys, Oma was absolutely grafting in today's episode. Like I said, I'm not really surprised. You know, he's in a couple with someone he isn't really in a couple with. But yeah, that was that. By the way, there was a lot of different conversations in today's episode. So if we're speeding past different sections, it's literally because there really isn't much to speak about. Now, moving on to Matilda talking to Mimi and Tiffany, and it was pretty much just the clock. They were sitting down having a little chin wag, but Tiffany obviously spoke about Harriet, but Matilda was just like, Ronnie's a really lovely boy, because you guys know Matilda knows Ronnie outside of Love Island. I think, if I remember correctly, she's been out with his mate, so there is that connection over there, and of course she's quite familiar with Ronnie outside of the Love Island setting, but she was saying that, no, he actually is a really lovely guy. Now, moving on to Sean, now speaking to Harriet and Nicole, I love their little trio that they have. Like, literally, Sean is literally one of the girls, okay? Definitely one of those guys that can bounce off girls' energy and literally be part of the conversation. But they were saying that, they're just really happy that someone has come in for him. I do feel like it is very early to think that Matilda is 100% going to go for Sean, but it is nice vibes to encourage for now, if that makes sense. And I wouldn't mind Matilda and Sean getting together. I just don't know if, I hope she doesn't see Sean as being so nice that it comes across as being quite cringy, if that makes sense. But let's see. Now let's move on to Uma, now speaking to Wil and Joey and Grace. And she was talking about how the boys, Uma was speaking to Wil, okay? And she was pretty much speaking about how, she really likes him and everything. And, oh yeah, things are going like really well and everything. And then Wil was, to me, because I felt like Wil and Matilda's date was actually quite good. And it definitely seemed and gave the vibe that Wil 100% wanted to continue to get to know Matilda. So I feel like from that conversation and, them talking about, Uma was just like, yeah, I feel like it's best for the guy to like a girl more. And like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, are you reassured? Like, I feel like maybe Uma was threatened at the fact that she saw that Matilda and Wil were having a good conversation, which is why in today's episode it seemed like she was being quite on job and on it when it came to expressing her feelings. But I don't know if Wil is on the same page as her right now. You can definitely see that Uma is a slow burner, as she always says, but I feel like Wil is trying to respect the fact that she's like that because they've only known each other for a couple of days, but also trying to egg things on because he just doesn't know, like, okay, if this babe really liked me, should we have not progressed things further? But hold that thought, because we're going to get onto it the following day. Now, moving on to Sean and Matilda having a conversation. He said that he feels like he's won the lottery. Cute convos once again, beautiful gowns, but cute convos. I just wonder if Matilda is really into Sean like that, because she was just like, oh my gosh, really? Oh, that's so nice, and that's so lovely. Oh my gosh, oh, that is so sweet. Like, so it does give me the vibe that she may friend zone him, but it's early days, so we'll see how that goes. And I just want Sean to be a bit more smooth. Like, it comes across like he's begging sometimes instead of just having Riz, if that makes sense. Anyway, not much to discuss regarding the nighttime. A few conversations that we're going to speak about next anyway. And Kieran and Nicole were kissing in bed, and so were Jace and Joey. Jace and Joey, Grace and Joey. Why am I bringing them, or why am I trying to make ship names already? Don't make no sense. Why am my brain doing that? Okay, cool. Let's move on to the following day. So Wil was speaking to Joey that the feelings are there, but he needs to explore the spark more in case it isn't. And once again, I just feel like Wil either wants Uma to show more interest in him, or he is potentially going to try and move things on with other people in the villa, especially because he did tell Matilda that he's open and possibly explore some things with her. But we're going to get into that shortly anyway, because we know that they have another conversation. Now, moving on to Uma once again, complimenting Matilda's eyes. I said, But then the camera zoomed in, and because it was daytime, I was like, no, guys, she actually does have really nice eyes. They're like grey, but green, but blue at the same time, but purple. She has really gorgeous eyes, and I think she has really good vibes and energy. Now, we do know that Sean ended up making Matilda a coffee. What was so cute was when they sat down on the daybed, just because Sean is so, did I say Sean or Wil? I think I said Sean. I hope I said Sean. But anyway, just because Sean is just so clumsy, he ended up bumping her head, which is actually quite cute. But once again, I do feel like Matilda has really good vibes, and that's probably what draws other people to her, especially with her energy and her, her aura, as they like to say. But I do like her and Sean together. I do feel like they do bounce off each other, which is nice. Of course, the girls are talking and Uma was speaking about the whole Wil situation, and she said that, you know, she isn't really the type to just like walk over and do this and do that. But the girls were reassuring her that, you know, maybe Wil's actually grown on you. Like, I can definitely see growth with you. And I think it was Tiffany that said, you know, sometimes healthy jealousy is good, i.e. the whole situation with Matilda, which is what I literally just said. I feel like maybe Uma started to realize, like, okay, if I don't show this guy that I like him, or if I don't put any interest into this guy at all, then it's very likely that another babe can just come into the villa and snatch him up. But we're going to get into that shortly again, because not saying they were the stars of today's show, but there was a lot of conversations around them all together. Now, moving on to Jess and Connor having a conversation. Guys, do I just pick up on the weirdest things, or did you guys pick up on this too? So obviously, Jess and Connor having a conversation by the pool. They're like speaking. He's like, yeah, like, you know, how are you? How's your time? She's just like, yeah, my time's been okay in the villa. You're from here, innit? Like, I'm from here. And I guess they're both from up north or whatever. And she was just like, yeah, like, oh, mum and dad still together. Guys, I'm not looking. I know for a fact I'm not looking into that too deeply. Why are you asking the black man if his mum and dad are still together? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that was weird. I have never, unless the producers have cut that out, I haven't heard her say that to anyone else in the villa, which I found to be really strange. It was a very interesting comment, but you guys know me. I pick up on things like this anyway, but like, you know, you're not my usual type. Oh, your mum and dad still together? Oh yeah, that's rare, isn't it? What do you mean by that's rare? Jess? Okay. Okay, now let's move on to Wil and Uma having a conversation. They were literally just cuddling, and then Matilda came up and was just like, oh, sorry, like, is it okay if I can borrow Wil for a second? And then Uma was just like, yeah, cool. So she was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, babe, love ya. They're like, love you too, love you more, love you. Guys, I don't know why the energy is like this in this villa. Maybe they're all just very expressive today, but they were doing a lot today. But they were just having a conversation about their tattoos, getting to know one another. I do also like Matilda and Wil together. I think Matilda and Wil and Matilda and Sean, I could see it. I could definitely see it. Yeah, I could see it. I think they look quite good together. And he seems to like her energy, and she also seems to like him as well. Now let's move on to Matilda and Harriet around the fire pit. Guys, I won't lie. I was here for this little, I'm here for Harriet and Matilda being friends, because not only were they matching their bikinis, I don't know if that was intentional, but the colour was literally nice. I think they were wearing green, or it was like a, yeah, off green bluish type of bikinis, which was really nice. But they were just having a general chit chat conversation and talking about their situations. And of course, you guys know that Matilda already knows Ronnie. So Matilda, Harriet was just like, yeah, like, you know, my situation with Ronnie is like, I'm just done with the situation. I wonder if she is. I hope she is, Harriet, because you do deserve better. But she was just like, yeah, I'm just done with the entire situation. And then Matilda was low-key spilling tea. Like, yeah, like, Ronnie's a really good guy, but, you know, on the outside, he's definitely the type to be like a one-night stander and do this and do that. And Harriet was like, really? Stop it, really? Like, yeah. So I do like the fact that Matilda actually did tell Harriet that, because it was given the vibe that, listen, babe, like, I just have your back and I'm looking out for you. And she even told Harriet as well, like, this, from the descriptions you have given of the person that you do want to be with, Ronnie's just not that guy. So I'm happy that she was really kind of like straight up with Harriet. She could have fed into her delusions like, oh, babe, don't worry, you'll change him. You know, all Ronnie needs is the right girl to settle down with. No, she was letting her know, like, listen, Ronnie is like this even on the outside. So I just want you to just exit stage left and make room for someone who will actually treat you well. So I would love them to be friends. I think they'll be quite cute together. Now let's move on to the night time before we tear a couple singlets. Joey, Wil and Grace were having a conversation. Harriet walked in awkwardly. Okay, Harriet was just walking with her wedges, walking towards them. It went silent and awkward for a while, and then she sat down. But Wil was obviously speaking about the whole Uma situation once again. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not dying for a kiss or anything, but, you know, it would be nice just so I kind of know, like, where her head is at and everything like that. At the same time, Uma was also around the fire pit, and she said that she doesn't really want to give him a kiss because she doesn't know how he'll act after it. But the girls are just like, you know, like, maybe a kiss is kind of like just all that he needs. And she did mention one thing. She was mentioning the fact that Wil told her that he doesn't want to get to know the new girl. That's the second time she's mentioned it. I know she mentioned it in the night before, but guys, I don't know if I missed that. I don't think, did Wil say that to her? I don't have that in my notes, but I don't recall Wil saying that to her. So I don't know if I missed something, but she keeps telling the girls that, and I don't know if I missed that. But obviously, as you guys know as well, Grace now came up to them. So Grace had just finished the conversation with Joey and Will, and now was coming back to speak to the girls. And she was just like, well, at the end of the day, you know, Will does really like you, and he is happy to wait for like the kiss and everything. But at the same time, he does want to push things along, but he also respects you and everything. So I feel like at that moment, there was a small understanding from the girls that, you know what, tonight's going to be the night that we're going to have a kiss. Like, you and Will are going to have the kiss. So number one, I don't feel like there should be so much pressure on someone having a kiss with another Islander. Boys number two as well, Grace and a few other girls walked off, and Grace was just like, yeah, at the end of the day, we just don't want to put too much pressure. Like, we don't want it to seem like it's too much. So I thought in that instance, Will was going to go over and sit with Uma. Maybe they would have had their first kiss, but they didn't. Side note as well, I don't know what Grace does. I need her gym routine. Body is chef's kiss. I really like Grace. I think she's such a babe. She's a graceful babe. Her name is very befitting for her. So let's move on to Jess, Harriet and Grace now walking off and also speaking. So Jess was speaking about the whole situation with Ronnie, and like, you know, how the situation has been like really hard on her and everything. And then Harriet was spilling the tea on what Matilda had told her, aka Ronnie is not a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so babe, save your lips and save your tears and save your heart from heartache, because it really isn't that deep and not that serious. Now, you guys know after this, the Islanders were given the opportunity to gather around the fire pit, because they were going to engage in a cheeky little game. It's the game where, I don't remember what the game is called, but it's the game where you have the card to your lips and someone else has to suck the card off your lip, and if it drops, then you have to do the dare. So we'll get into a few of them before we rip a singlet. Cool. So Uma ended up, you had to choose someone else who you weren't in a couple with, by the way. So Uma ended up choosing Sean for a striptease. Tiffany ended up kissing the Islander she fancies the most, and she ended up choosing Sean. So big up Sean, you know, getting a vibe down. Jess was asked to kiss the best body. Ronnie was like, oh, that's me. And she was just like, defo isn't. Guys, this Jess babe, I don't even have any words, okay? But she ended up kissing Connor. Her and Connor seem to have a thing going on. Honestly speaking, they can couple up, and Connor shouldn't unpack, because y'all going home. Okay? You guys, we're not forgetting the things that Jess has done these past couple episodes. I'm so sorry, like, the babe gotta go. Of course, Harriet was asked to high-five a couple who she thinks won't last. And let me tell you why I like Harriet. Harriet stands on what? Be for business, okay? She ended up high-fiving Ronnie and Tiffany. I said, okay, Harriet, I know that's right. Connor ended up, and that wasn't shade, by the way, because Ronnie and Tiffany definitely are not lasting outside of the villa. Now, Ronnie ended up, I forgot who Ronnie ended up kissing, but he didn't kiss Harriet. And just keep that in mind, because someone else could have decided to do something very similar but decided to go the opposite direction, okay? But keep that in mind, because Ronnie could have easily kissed Harriet and he didn't. Moving on to Sean. Sean was asked to whisper a sexy compliment to someone, and he chose Matilda. We didn't know what he said until the end, when Matilda repeated it and said that he said no, and then Sean repeated it after Matilda and said, come on baby, looking forward to our kiss tonight. Oh, Sean, you're so sweet, but also just so cringy. It's absolutely adorable. And then last but not least, oh gosh, last but not least, Ayo was asked to kiss the Islander that he thinks he has the most sexual chemistry with. Now, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to, if you didn't watch the episode, 2 seconds to guess who did Ayo pick. 1, 1.2, 1.5, 1.7, 2, Uma. Okay. How did we get here, Ayo? As our good sis Nicole says, in the what? In the bin. Because even though the kiss was small, it may have lasted minus 0.005 seconds. It could have been a peck. Guys, it's about the principle. He could have chosen anybody else. That's just the reality. You can't tell me, oh yeah, that, but he's just being true to himself. But of all people to pick, Ayo, of all people to pick, you picked Uma. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be real to myself. Babe, you're lacking common sense, because this is not clicking. As in, Ayo, start packing your bag, because we're sending you, it's by luck you're still in that villa, because you're coupled up with Mimi, who we want to keep in that villa. You, Ayo, you, start packing. because Heathrow is seeing you oh so soon. Oh so soon. Guys, he could have picked anyone else. He could have even decided to kiss himself, kiss the floor, kiss somebody, kiss someone, give someone a kiss on the cheek or forehead or something. You decided to go and pick Uma. Does that make sense? Does it make sense to pick Uma? Because even in the confessionals, Mimi was pretty much under the same impression that majority of us are all under. Just like, you know, I just felt like, why did he have to do that? Like, of all people to pick. Yeah, exactly. Of all people to pick. Like, it's just giving lack of brain cells. I'm so sorry, because that makes no sense. And you can't say that he's just being true to himself, given there was a big situation with this person and the girl you're in a couple with. Men just do sometimes. They don't think. They just do. They just do. And then what's his argument going to be? Oh yeah, I'll just stay true to myself. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I actually don't want to hear it. So we'll see how tomorrow's episode starts off. I feel like it's definitely going to start off with Mimi addressing this entire situation. Ayo probably gaslighting, being dismissive. Who knows? Okay, whether it was a peck or it wasn't, it's just the principle that you chose this babe when you know that we've been through so much just to even get to where we are right now. Very disappointing, Ayo. Minus 1,000 points. Okay, and you're already low, so now it's even lower. But let's see how tomorrow goes. But yeah, guys, I'd love to know what you guys actually thought of today's episode. Overall, it was okay-ish. I do like Matilda as a bombshell. I think she's good vibes. Connor, I'm getting mixed vibes from at the moment, but let's see how things go. And yeah, Ayo, we will tear your singlet till thy kingdom come at this rate, because it's like you're not learning. Okay, you're just not learning. But as always, guys, let me know how you found today's episode down below in the comments. If you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family, and also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, for your love and for your support. Please do take care, stay blessed, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.